Alright, so just from the start of this, it's too dark. But if I turn the light on directly at me, way too bright. Way too bright, but I have a feeling if I point it at the wall, the reflection bouncing off the wall at me will be just enough to brighten things up just a tad. Today I want to talk about re-inspiring yourself because we'll get so caught up in what we're doing, we'll get inspired, we'll want to run with the idea that we have in our head, and we'll go for it, we'll make it happen, we'll have a blast doing it, but whenever it's done and you're home at night and what you just did, what you brought into the world is over, you kind of have a dump, like an adrenaline dump. And now it's like you have to do the next thing, so you have to re-inspire yourself to do the next thing. Now, what I try and do the most is keep momentum going. So whatever I was so inspired with the last idea that I had, I want to keep the momentum going. I don't want to put too much space in between my ideas. I don't want to make things too perfect and take too much time to make the next thing because you'll lose that momentum. That gap will cause so much of a decrease in momentum that it's crazy. If you just keep it moving and keep doing things right after another, you'll find yourself doing more things and having more fun doing it. You'll keep that muscle memory while you're doing all of the things, everything that you're creating, everything that you're bringing into the world. Doing it this way, you might bring things into the world that a year later you're not so happy with, just because you're trying to keep momentum going. It's almost like a filler, but it's just to keep that muscle memory. And it's okay because whether in a year you like it or you hate it, you still brought it into the world. So keeping momentum going is something that I try and do all the time. You can see scrolling through the page, some things are fillers. You can see those things because I just wanted to keep the momentum going. And if you slow down and you start to think too much about your next idea and you start to build that gap, you're gonna start overthinking things. And it's like, okay, I wanna put something out on Thursday of next week. Well, if you're not disciplined enough to actually put it out on Thursday of next week, you're gonna start to overthink things and be like, all right, it's been a few weeks already anyway, it's not gonna matter if it's one more week. And that's not how you should do things because you'll overthink it. You're gonna start to not like the idea that you had because you're allowing yourself to not like the idea that you had because you're giving yourself so much time. So keep the momentum going, one thing after another, boom, boom, boom. Keep the creative juices flowing. The second thing that I like to do is always keep myself in a creative space. Creative space is the game changer, especially for myself, but I know it'll be the game changer for other people too if you're not familiar with being in a creative environment. So be around creative people, but whenever you're not around those creative people in those nice lit places, whenever you come home and you're all by yourself, make your room a very creative place. Behind here, I have a creative wall with all things that inspire me daily. So when I wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I look at. This whole wall of things that just inspire me to do more, keep it going. If none of this was here, when I wake up, I would have other thoughts. I wouldn't just wake up and start thinking about new ideas because these things are here to remind me to keep that momentum going. So creative spaces are it. If I'm not home, I try and go to creative spaces outside of home. I try and go to the beach as much as I can because that's my happy place. So I know that I'll be less stressed in that happy place and I'll be able to come up with better ideas, more free, stress-free ideas that aren't like down to the wire ideas. When you put stress on an idea, it's not coming from your heart. It's coming from like, I have to do this. I have to get it done at this time. Like, those aren't your best creations. The best creations are the ones that come from the heart that you honestly don't even have to think much about. You just want to do it. You get started and you do it. You have fun with it. Don't put too much thought into it because you'll start to overthink things. I would say the third thing is it's okay to ask people. When you're in a rut, when you're down, you need to be re-inspired. It's okay to ask somebody, hey, what should I do? What should I do? What do you want to see from me? And then whatever they tell you, you don't have to do exactly what they tell you, but take it and run with it in your own way. And go full speed. It's all right. It's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay if you mess up. But as long as you're doing it and keeping it going, it's take advice from other people. Ask other people what's up. What are you doing wrong? What should you be doing? Another thing that I personally like to do is lock myself away and think. Like, if it's coming down to it and I need to bring something into the world, I need a new idea, I need a new design, I need a new video idea, sometimes I'll lock myself down and, turn on some good music. I'll maybe watch a few YouTube videos, try and get those sparks, those creative juices flowing, and I'll literally force myself to get in that creative mindset. And that is what will keep start the momentum again, because you'll just be sitting there, you'll be watching a video, you'll be doing something, and it'll spark something. And if everything is attainable, at your reach, you can get moving, you can get started. For me, when I make clothes, I'll be watching a YouTube video, I'll see a design that I want to make, and because of how I do everything, I can come into my room, lock down, and I can get to work right now. It's hard to stay inspired and re-inspire yourself if everything is not at hand's reach. If you have an idea and you can't bring it into the world for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, you have an idea for a clothes you want to make, but you have to get them made through somebody else, and you have to wait 2 weeks for them to get there. Your idea is not going to be as hype as it was if you could just have that idea, come in, get to work, and make it happen right now. It's also going to stop you from making a lot of things that you want to bring into the world, because you can't just make it right now. There's some things that you'll want to make right now, but you can't make because you have to wait 2 weeks for your stuff to come in or whatever it is. And you're going to start to overthinking, maybe that's not the best idea. And whenever you have things hands-on, you can make things and they might not be your best creations or your best ideas, but they're right here and you can keep the momentum going. So I would say that's the number one thing to re-inspire myself, is to keep momentum going. And whenever I'm finished with one creation, one idea, and it's time to move to the next, I just remind myself what I'm doing it for, and keep that momentum going. Just jump right into the next thing, whatever it is. Lay all my fabrics out on the table and just look at them and say, I gotta keep it moving. Dig in the brain, put something on the fabrics, and keep it going and start putting them out in the world. Whatever idea is in my head at that time, put it on the fabric, move it, keep it moving. And then when those are done, I do it all over again. So that's what I would say if you want to re-inspire yourself, is to keep it moving so much that you don't have those big dumps in between creations. Keep it moving as much as you can. Stay disciplined, one creation after another. Whether you're not super confident with it, you're not in love with the creation that it is, keep it moving and put it into the world just so you can keep it moving to get to the creation that you are in love with. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I'm trying something new with this Instagram TV. So I'm going to start posting more on the TV for longer videos, and then I'm just going to cut a clip out of it and put that on the Instagram page itself. So those are a few things that I like to do to stay creative, stay motivated, and keep it moving. Re-inspiring yourself. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day. It's hump day, almost to the weekend. It's almost Friday. So I'm going to shut this video off. I got some clothes that I need to make. I'm excited to do it. It's what I love to do. It's my passion. So I'm going to get to work. Hopefully you guys get to work too, bringing those $1 million ideas into the world. Put them on the table. Show the world what you're made of. And let's keep it moving. Keep this momentum going. We'll do it as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. I can't do this without you guys. So I appreciate every single one of you keeping the dream alive. So as always, play your cards right and go for it at all costs. See you later, guys.